Ohma Zi-O. Ohma Zi-O is an alternate future version of Sogo Tokiwa, the protagonist of Kamen Rider Zi-O. He is depicted as the ultimate overlord and the most powerful Kamen Rider in his universe. Ohma Zi-O is Sogo at the end of his path, an older, corrupted king who has fully embraced the power of time manipulation and domination. His power originates from the complete control over all rider powers and the timeline itself. Unlike his younger self, who struggles to avoid becoming a tyrant, Ohma Zi-O has accepted his destiny and ascended to godlike status, ruling the world for 50 years without opposition. He possesses the Ohma Zi-O Ride Watch, which grants him omnipotent-level abilities within the context of the rider world, such as absolute time manipulation, rewriting history, nullifying other riders' powers, resurrecting himself and others, and erasing beings from existence. He effortlessly defeated all other riders, including those with reality-altering powers, proving his dominance. His feats include casually altering the flow of time, surviving temporal paradoxes, regenerating instantly from fatal attacks, and eradicating threats across multiple timelines simultaneously. Ohma Zi-O embodies the idea of the strongest possible Kamen Rider, a tyrant king who has mastered every rider power, controls fate itself, and rules an unchanging timeline under his iron will. This terrifying blend of ultimate rider abilities and absolute control over time cements him as one of fiction's most powerful gods within the Kamen Rider mythos. Asura. Asura is the main protagonist of Asura's Wrath. He is one of the 8 guardian generals, powerful demigods tasked with protecting the world of Gaia from monstrous beings called Goma. Unlike the other deities, Asura is defined by his boundless rage, which fuels his strength far beyond the limits of other gods. His story begins when he is betrayed by his fellow generals and framed for the murder of Emperor Strata. After witnessing his wife Durga's death and the abduction of his daughter Mithra, Asura is killed and cast into Naraka, a hell-like realm. However, he resurrects solely through the force of his wrath and begins a relentless quest for vengeance against his treacherous former allies and their leader Zeus. What sets Asura apart as one of fiction's most powerful gods is not just his strength, but his capacity to grow stronger every time he resurrects. Each time he falls, his fury becomes a limitless power source, allowing him to defeat gods, machines, and cosmic threats that dwarf even the strongest deities. He fights and destroys massive warships, entire fleets, and godlike beings such as Wizen, whose size surpasses planets. He defeats Chakravartin, the creator and ruler of the universe, who manipulates reality and time. Despite losing his arms multiple times, Asura adapts and overpowers foes using only sheer will and raw rage. His power evolves into various forms, including his iconic 6-armed Vajra Asura and the catastrophic Mantra Asura, culminating in his final transformation into Destructor Asura, where he becomes strong enough to obliterate an entire planet-sized enemy with a single punch. Shuma-Gorath. Shuma-Gorath is an ancient godlike being in Marvel Comics, originating from a race of eldritch entities called the Many-Angled Ones. He is one of the oldest and most powerful beings in the multiverse, predating Earth's known gods and often ruling countless dimensions for millions of years. Described as an omnipotent ruler of chaos, Shuma-Gorath feeds on the suffering of entire worlds and enslaves both mortals and lesser gods alike. His power is so vast that even sorcerers like Doctor Strange and cosmic beings fear invoking his name. Long ago, Shuma-Gorath dominated prehistoric Earth, demanding worship and human sacrifice before being banished by the time-traveling sorcerer Neg. Despite banishment, he constantly seeks to return, manipulating reality and minds from afar. One of his most infamous acts was trying to re-enter Earth through the mind of the Ancient One, Doctor Strange's mentor, forcing Strange to kill his master to prevent Shuma-Gorath's resurrection on Earth. His reality-warping abilities allow him to bend laws of physics and magic at will, making him a threat to the fabric of existence itself. He once fought a godlike Strange empowered by the Vishanti, and still won, showing that conventional godhood pales in comparison to his primal chaos. Even when trapped outside reality, he remains a lurking threat that demands the combined power of multiple sorcerers and deities to keep him at bay. Shuma-Gorath's endless hunger, ancient rule over Earth, conquest of dimensions, and resilience make him one of fiction's strongest cosmic gods and a symbol of unstoppable primordial horror in the Marvel Universe. Cars. Cars is a major antagonist from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Battle tendency. Originally the leader of the Pillar Men, an ancient race of superhuman beings, Kars devoted his existence to overcoming his species' weaknesses, especially their vulnerability to sunlight. His obsession with perfection drove him to create the Stone Mask, an artifact that could enhance a user's body and abilities far beyond normal limits. Unsatisfied with the mask's initial effects, Kars eventually sought the Red Stone of Aja, a rare gem that could unlock the mask's full potential. After an intense battle with Joseph Joestar and his allies, Kars succeeded in using both the mask and the stone, becoming the ultimate life form. In this state, Kars evolved beyond any living creature on Earth. He gained the genetic traits and abilities of every known organism, from plants and animals to microscopic life. This made him immortal and immune to aging, disease, or any form of physical harm. He could shapeshift, regenerate instantly, and adapt to any threat, including producing wings to fly, blades stronger than steel, or gills to breathe underwater. He also retained his genius-level intellect and combat skills. What solidifies Kars as one of fiction's most powerful godlike beings is that he reached a state where nothing on Earth could kill him. Even being thrown into the vacuum of space did not destroy him. Instead, he drifted endlessly, unable to die but also unable to return. His mind eventually shut down from isolation, but physically he remains perfect and alive forever. One Below All. The One Below All is a cosmic entity in Marvel Comics, described as the ultimate personification of destruction and hatred. According to Marvel lore, it is the dark opposite of the One Above All, who represents creation and compassion. Existing in the lowest layer of the multiverse called the Below Place, the One Below All is essentially the devil of the Marvel Universe, the source of all gamma mutations and the ultimate embodiment of entropy, malice, and annihilation. What makes the One Below All so terrifying and powerful is its influence over gamma-powered beings like the Hulk and the Abomination. It manipulates events through them to spread chaos and suffering, feeding off the rage and pain they cause. Its ultimate goal is to break through to the real world, devour all existence, and drag everything into its own realm of eternal destruction. During the Immortal Hulk storyline, the One Below All proved it could resurrect itself and others repeatedly through gamma energy, making it nearly impossible to destroy. It twisted the Hulk's mind, controlled other gamma monsters, and orchestrated apocalyptic events to weaken the barrier between the Below Place and the physical universe. The One Below All's threat is so vast that it stands as a cosmic opposite to the One Above All, meaning it holds an equal and opposite force to the creator of everything. This balance of ultimate creation and ultimate destruction places it at the very peak of Marvel's hierarchy of gods and cosmic beings. Its influence spreads not just over Earth, but across the multiverse, making it an ever-present force of ruin and despair that no hero can permanently defeat, only delay. Haruhi Suzumiya. Haruhi Suzumiya is the main character of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, a Japanese light novel series by Nagaru Tanigawa. She is an eccentric, energetic high school girl who is bored with ordinary life and seeks excitement through anything involving aliens, time travelers, and espers. What makes Haruhi one of fiction's most powerful godlike beings is that she unconsciously possesses the ability to change, reshape, or even destroy reality according to her whims and emotions, though she herself is completely unaware of this power. This means that her desires and moods can literally alter the fabric of the universe without her realizing it. For example, when she grows bored or frustrated with the mundane world, the universe can spontaneously generate phenomena or entities, such as aliens or time travelers, to keep her entertained. The SOS Brigade, a club she forms at school, consists of people who are secretly tasked with monitoring her to prevent accidental catastrophes. Kion, the narrator, plays a crucial role in keeping her grounded and distracted from realizing her godlike status. Haruhi's power has caused closed spaces, alternate dimensions filled with destructive beings called Celestials, to appear when she's upset, threatening to expand and overwrite reality. Her reality-warping abilities make her a unique example of an unintentional god in fiction, a seemingly normal student who bends existence itself by wanting a more interesting life. Her story explores what happens when an ordinary girl unknowingly holds the fate of the universe in her hands, making her one of fiction's most compelling and powerful characters. Kim Dokja. Kim Dokja is the main protagonist of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, a Korean web novel where he evolves from an ordinary office worker to one of the most transcendent beings in his universe. He starts as a reader obsessed with a web novel called 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, which becomes reality when the world is plunged into a scenario-based apocalypse. Unlike others, Dokja is the only person who knows the entire plot. Using this knowledge, his cunning mind, and an unparalleled will to survive, he manipulates events, allies with key characters, and endures unimaginable trials to change a doomed story. As the story progresses, Dokja transcends mortality, becoming a godlike existence known as a constellation, and later even beyond that. He becomes a narrative being capable of shaping reality with stories and meanings, wielding authority over fictions, scenarios, and the very fabric of the narrative world. He essentially rewrites fate, manipulates scenarios, and even breaks free from the control of higher beings that govern the stories. In the climax, Dokja sacrifices himself repeatedly, confronts the creator of the entire world, and eventually becomes a narrative so absolute that even death cannot erase him. He embodies the idea that a reader can become a writer, then a story, then a god beyond the story. This evolution makes him one of fiction's strongest gods, not through brute force but through mastery of narrative omniscience, inviolable will, and the power to redefine reality through storytelling itself. Nanook. Nanook is a central figure in Honkai Star Rail, known as the Aeon of Destruction, and one of the most terrifyingly powerful beings in the game's universe. As an Aeon, essentially a godlike cosmic entity, Nanook embodies the path of destruction, which rejects the existing order of creation and civilization in favor of total ruin and rebirth through annihilation. Unlike other Aeons who might govern elements like preservation, harmony, or abundance, Nanook's sole purpose is to dismantle what has been built, viewing the cycle of life and civilization as inherently corrupt and futile. Nanook's immense power is reflected in the catastrophic impact he has had across the cosmos. He is directly responsible for initiating the galaxy-wide war against the so-called Order of Civilization, upheld by other Aeons and factions like the Interastral Peace Corporation. To fulfill his ideology, Nanook created the Antimatter Legion, a vast army of destructive beings that spread chaos and wage war wherever they appear. Nanook's terrifying might doesn't stem from raw strength alone, but also from his ability to inspire and perpetuate entropy on a cosmic scale. He represents an unstoppable principle that opposes the very fabric of order and peace. To countless beings across the stars, he is not just a god of war. He is a symbol of inevitable collapse, embodying the darkest truth that destruction is as fundamental as creation. His continued existence and actions have shaped the course of countless worlds, making him one of fiction's most formidable divine figures and an existential threat even to other Aeons. Hey everyone, thank you all for watching until the end. I'll be back with more videos, so make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for my next video, comment them down below.